During the summer of 2003, events in the northeastern United States involving a strange human-like creature sparked terror in the community around.
Hi, girlfriends. Welcome to the Freaky Femme podcast. I'm Doll.
And I'm Em.
And we got a little history and slash creepypasta slash I don't know what else you call it, but we're gonna tell you the story of the Rake. Whether you believe he's real or not, I guess it will be for you to decide at the end of these encounters. So, Im's gonna be telling these things to us today, so
I'll take it away. During the summer of 2003, events in the northeastern United States involving a strange human-like creature sparked a brief local media interest, for an apparent blackout was enacted. Little or no information was left intact, as most online and written accounts of the creature were mysteriously destroyed. Primarily focused in the New York State and once found in Idaho, self-proclaimed witnesses told stories of their encounters with creatures of the unknown. Self-proclaimed witnesses told stories of their encounters with a creature of unknown origin. Emotions ranged from extremely traumatic levels of fright and discomfort to an almost childlike sense of playfulness and curiosity. While these published versions are no longer on record, the memories remained powerful. Several of the involved parties began looking for answers that year. In early 2006, a collaboration had accumulated nearly 24 documents dating between the 12th century and present day. Spanning 4 continents, the stories were identical. I've been in contact with a member of this group and was able to get some experts from their upcoming book, Mariner's Log 1691. He came to me in my sleep. From the foot of my bed, I felt a sensation. He took everything. I can't do it.
you did perfect.
Does that sound... I don't feel like that sounds British.
It sounds British.
But like
it does.
a sound
It made me think of Harry Potter.
Okay. Came in my sleep. Because now I'm thinking of water. Okay. Came in my sleep. From the foot of my bed, I felt a sensation. He took everything. Everything. We must return to England. We shall not come here again. At the request of the Rake.
So the Rake's at the end of his bed says, "Give me everything you got, okay? Give me everything. Okay, now never come back. Never come back here." It's so funny.
Oh.
You made him sound like Dobby. Dobby got a sock. No, Dobby got his sock taken away by the Rake, I guess. That's why he's so sad.
But it says, we shall not come here again at the request of the Rake.
Yeah, so the Rake told them never to come back, I guess.
Oh, okay. Put my bed about so sad. He took everything. We must return to England. Okay. That's the end of that one. Journal entry. Translated from Spanish, 1880. I've experienced a great terror. Terror, I tell you. I've experienced the greatest terror. He says it twice. I've experienced the greatest terror.
It's translated from Spanish. They must have done a good job.
I see his eyes came close to mine. They are hollow black. He saw me and pierced me. His wet hand. I will not sleep. His voice. Unintelligible text.
Oh my goodness, his wet hands. This thing is a nuisance. Wow, he's a little terror going around touching people with his wet hands, sitting at people's feet, taking all their stuff.
Either sweaty or maybe he didn't wash them. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Unalived note. 1964. Prepare. Take my life. Feel it necessary that I need to get rid of any guilt or pain. I have introduced for this act. It was not the fault of anyone other than him. For once, I woke up without his presence. And once, I awoke and I saw his form. Once again, I awoke and heard his voice and looked into his eyes. I cannot sleep without fear what I might next awake to experience. I cannot ever wake. Goodbye.
That was good. It sounded like you actually sad and crying. You know what's interesting about this, though? What I'm starting to get from this, he sits at people's beds. It makes me think of like a sleep paralysis type demon.
Yeah, and this one, he acts like basically in his nightmares, and he can't sleep.
Yeah,
he keeps getting woken up.
The woman was at her bed, and the Marine who was at his foot of his bed. This guy said he keeps waking up and seeing him. So, or a girl, whatever it was, but. Yeah, it sounds like a demon, a sleep paralysis demon to me.
Yeah. Found in the same wooden box were 2 empty envelopes addressed to William and Rose, and 1 loose personal letter with no envelope. Dearest Lenny, I prayed for you. I spoke your name.
That's creepy. How did know? I guess it was in his mind. If he knew the people that he knew.
Yeah. Taunting him.
Going after Liddy next. Yeah.
So this last one from The Witness 2006 is a long one, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't look.
Oh. Yeah, it looks like it's a very long. This is the latest one. That's why it's more detailed.
Okay. From a Witness 2006. 3 years ago, I just returned from a trip to Niagara Falls with my family for the 4th of July. We were all very exhausted after a long day of driving. My husband and I put the kids straight to bed and called it a night. About 4 a.m., I woke up thinking my husband had gotten up to use the restroom. I used the moment to steal back the sheets, only to wake him in the process. I apologized and told him that I thought he was out of bed. He turned to face me. He gasped and pulled his feet up the end of the bed so quickly. His knee almost knocked me out of the bed. Then he grabbed me and said nothing.
Sounds like a little pansy to me. Sounds like a little girl.
Oh, something else got up and went to the bathroom is what it sounds like. Or if someone was walking around.
Yeah, so the Rake was sitting at the bottom of his bed and was like, man, I have to go bathroom. Goes to the bathroom. Then goes back to sitting at the bottom of the bed.
Well, because I would think, so when you lay in the bed with someone, you can usually feel when they get up, unless you have like a memory foam mattress like mine. You can't feel nothing when people get up. But like normal beds, if you get up, you can feel like when someone sits on the bed and gets, moves around.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, that's what I was wondering, because I was like, did she feel like the sensation of someone getting up?
Yeah, I bet you that thing got up off the bed, because it keeps sitting at the end of people's beds.
So you have to do the footsteps of it walking. Shutting the door and hearing it tinkle, tinkle, tinkle.
Tinkle, tinkle. The Rake's using my bathroom. Makes it not so scary knowing that it has to use the bathroom.
Okay. The foot of our bed, sitting and facing away from us, what appeared to be a naked man, a large hairless dog of some sort. Its body position was disturbing and unnatural, as if it had been hit by a car or something. For some reason, I was not instantly frightened by it, more concerned as to its condition. At this point, I was somewhat under the assumption that we were supposed to help him. I'm sorry, a naked mole rat guy sitting at the end of my bed, and he's naked, here, baby. And he's sitting in your safe space of your bed. I would not be like, oh, I need to help this guy that's chilling at the end of my bed naked.
He's sitting there wiping his hands because he just used your potty.
If he doesn't believe in clothes, he probably doesn't believe in toilet paper. Brian washed his hands neither. She didn't hear the toilet flush. He probably don't even flush the toilet.
Yeah, he probably left it all in there.
My husband was peering over his arm and knee. tucked into the fetal position, occasionally glancing at me before turning to the creature. A flurry of motion, it scrambled around and then crawled quickly in a flailing sort of way right along the covers until it was less than a foot away from my husband's face. It was completely silent for like 30 seconds, probably closer to 5, but it seemed like a while. Just looking at my husband in his dark, cold eyes. Cause you know how naked mole rats have them creepy like eyes? They're so
Yes,
creepy
little beady
looking.
eyes.
Oh, they're
They
creepy.
really look like beads.
Saw a bunch of baby ones at the zoo not that
Can you
long
imagine a naked
ago.
mole rat? A giant naked mole rat touching your face, him?
I'll throw up and pass
Would you
away.
want a naked man touching your face or a giant naked mole rat touching your face? That's the real question.
I wouldn't want to see. Oh, imagine a giant naked mole rat. I would like pass away. They're so ugly. Like, imagine if you woke up and saw a naked mole rat in your face. Like when you look at a bug too close. Like I remember as a
I'm
kid.
very partial to naked animals. Hairless. I guess they're not naked animals. Hairless animals. I've always thought hairless animals were really cute. That's why I like sphinxes.
Naked mole
but I always
rats
find
are
the
cute.
funny.
Creepy.
Kind of cute. What about the one from Kim Possible, Em?
No, that's what I was thinking about first, and then I had flashbacks of the zoo, and I saw a bunch of them, and they're like
Yeah,
babies. They're
they don't
literally
really open their
crawling
eyes.
all over each other,
Mhm.
and they move so creepy. It just makes me want to throw up. Like if I saw that, I would just be like, throw up and then die. Like, just eat me.
Pass out.
No,
That's what you want.
I would die of fear. I would literally die of fear. If it was like sniffing me or something. Oh, like they move so creepily. You
Okay,
just
I'll tell you exactly
a
what this
video
thing
of a
like.
creepy baby naked mole rat crawling all over each other. Like it makes my skin.
This
crawl.
is what I think the thing looked like, Em. Okay. This is what it actually looks like. Okay.
Okay. Show me naked mole rat.
No, I'm not. That's probably exactly accurate to what it is. I'll show it to you, viewers. This is exactly what was sitting at the end of their bed. It looks like a naked man creature thing, doesn't it?
Doesn't look like a naked mole rat.
Yeah, I guess, but it's a giant naked dog or giant, you know.
Yeah. I don't know how we got on the mole rat. She didn't say anything about that, but that's what I imagine. Now I'm terrified of it.
Men look like mole rats when they're naked. That's what I hear.
Okay.
Here's a better one. This is what her husband looks like up in the sheets. Scared of it.
It's like he has a secret.
I love that picture.
Yeah. Okay, back to business. Oh man, so it just gets wild. I'd probably do what the husband does in this too. Okay. Then placed its hand on his knee. On his knee and ran to the hallway leading to the kids' room. Screamed and ran to the light switch, planning to stop the thing before it hurt my children. When I got to the hallway, the light from the bedroom was enough to see it crouching, hunched over, 20 feet away. Turned around and looked directly at me, covered in blood. Flipped the switch on the wall and saw my daughter, Clara. I had blood on it, and she saw her daughter. So is her daughter alive, or is her daughter dead?
She has 2 kids.
The creature ran down the stairs as my husband and I rushed to help our daughter. She was very badly injured. Okay, so maybe he didn't kill her.
Oh.
She was very badly injured and spoke only once more in her short life. Oh, okay. Was very badly injured and spoke only once more in her short life. She said, "Yes, the Rake." It's like, goodbye now. My husband drove his car into the lake that night while rushing our daughter to the hospital. She did not survive.
No, the Rake was trying to get freaky with the husband.
Put his hand on his leg and then ran away.
Knee.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like he was trying to tell you sorry. I'm sorry. But also, it's interesting that the wife, like, felt pity for it and like wanted to help it or love it, and then the complete opposite reaction from the husband. He was terrified of it, even though they both saw the same thing. And maybe it was because he wasn't like trying to enter her mind, he was only trying to enter his mind, you know.
Mm. Coming from a dark romance reader, this someone could totally make this into a dark romance story.
Making
And
the Reikis a romance.
use
He's
those pictures
romantic.
that you
That's what he
sent
only
me.
needs.
Oh man, make it a
The
love
Rake's
story
own,
about the rake.
yeah.
Uh,
The Rake's only flaw is being too much of a romantic.
oh gosh. Okay, being a small town, news got around pretty quickly. Police were helpful at first, and the local newspaper took a lot of interest as well. However, the story was never published. The local television news never followed up either. Several months, my son Justin and I stayed in a hotel near my parents' house. After we decided to return home, I began looking for answers myself. I eventually located a man in the town next town over who had a very similar story. We got in contact and talked about our experiences. He knew of two other people in New York who had seen the creature we now referred to as the rake. I'm just thinking like a rake, like a that you use for
Yeah.
leaves.
I wonder why it's called the Rake.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Okay. Took the four of us 2 solid years of hunting on the internet and writing letters to come up with a small collection of what we believe be the accounts of the rake. None of them gave any details, history, or follow up. One journal had an entry involving the creature in the first 3 pages, then never mentioned it again. A ship's log experienced nothing of the encounter, only saying that they were told to leave by the rake. And that was the last entry in the log. There were, however, many instances where the creature's visit was one of a series of visits with the same person. Multiple people mentioned being spoken to, my daughter included. This led us to wonder if the rake had visited us before our last encounter. I set up a digital recorder near my bed and left it running all night, every night for 2 weeks. I would tediously scan through the sounds of me rolling around in my bed each day when I woke up. By the end of the second week, I was quite used to the occasional sound of sleep while blurring through the recording at 8 times the normal speed. It still took almost an hour every day. The first day of the third week, I thought I heard something different. What I found was a shrill voice. It was the rake. I can't listen to it long enough to even begin to transcribe it. I haven't let anyone listen to it. All I know is that I've heard it before, and I now believe that it spoke when it was sitting in front of my husband. I don't remember hearing anything at the time, but for some reason, that voice on the recorder immediately brings me back to that moment. The thoughts that must have gone through my daughter's head make me very upset. I have not seen the rake since he ruined my life. I know he has been in my room while I slept. I know in fear one night I'll wake up to see him staring at me.
That's a really good. I like that one a lot, actually. It's a lot better than I thought it would be. I like all the different encounters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting that there isn't more stories, I guess, because she said that she met all those different people that had encounters with them. I wonder why there wasn't more stories of them. But they got different encounters from people like way back when. Is that because they talked about the
The ship,
mariner's log and
yeah.
stuff?
I'm trying to tell.
Apparently, there's a
I'm
movie about
trying
the
to tell
rake.
if he's on all fours and that's his knees, or is he hunched over and his knees are to his chest? Can't tell. I'm gonna
I
zoom
think
in.
they say he's like. I think he's like crawling. He looks like he's crawling in that picture. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
because it kind
different
of looks like
pictures of
his
the rake.
legs bent in behind him.
Mm-hmm. There's drawings of him too, but that's supposed to be like an actual. Oh, VT. Whatever it's called, footage of him.
Look, he has his hand on the husband's knee.
Yeah, the knee. Look at him, how bony he is. He needs to do some squats.
Needs to pack that protein. He needs some protein
Mm-hmm.
shakes. He needs to give
I
himself a
don't know how
big
they could.
back.
I don't know how they could mistaken this creature for a dog though, because nothing has.
Hairless
It never has
dog.
ears. It has no ears. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That one picture where his hands on his knee, he has a little tiny tailbone.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that spiky tailbone, man. You don't want him sitting on your lap.
Mm-hmm. Talk about a bony butt.
Maybe he's called a rake because of his fingers.
Yeah, especially that last picture, I can see it, but I see it in the other ones now that you pointed it out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
The thing is, nobody really describes his hands being long though. They just so he has his wet. Only thing they described about his hands is that he has wet ones.
Yeah, apparently
And I
they're
don't like
wet.
that description. Either wet only because he did wash his hands when he went to the bathroom. That's
Just
probably
didn't
why.
dry them.
Yeah, he didn't dry them. That's the issue. Or maybe he wiped his hand with his hand. I mean, wiped his bottom with his hand, and that's why they were wet. Either one. And
Or
he
he
was just
peed on
mocking them
his
by touching
hand.
their face. All we know is he has wet hands for some reason, and he likes to touch people's knees and faces.
Yep.
I wonder why I guess he didn't end up killing the girl. I wonder why he did so much damage to the girl and then just stopped and went to the husband. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This creature is very odd, you know. I don't think he has no rhyme and reason. And also, they kept saying the difference. So, like, some people saw it was like a playful type creature or something that's childish, and maybe that's why the mom had the different reaction. Like, she wanted to protect it or help it or something, you know.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't have any reaction to him that was like thought it was evil at first, but the husband did. I don't know if they. And
They
maybe
said
she
it
said
went
that
to
she.
the husband, or it like got face to face with the husband before it like ran off, didn't it? Isn't that what it said?
Yeah, and it didn't even hurt him. Also.
Yeah. But it must have, maybe it
So
telepathically said something to him
yeah,
that possessed
and
him
that's
to
why.
wreck the car.
Maybe that it like was going to continually do that because the person that wrote the unalive note, he said that it kept bothering him, and so that's what ended up making him take his own life. So maybe he does it to some people. Okay, maybe he's just like toys with people. But she also said that she thinks that's visited her and her family like lots of times before that time.
Or
So
maybe like
maybe
visited
the
the
little
poor daughter. The
yeah, that's what
daughter
I'm
just,
thinking. Maybe it
yeah.
was friends with the daughter, and then maybe did something to make him mad, and then that's why he attacked her. Because I don't think he doesn't seem to attack people. Like, why would he also tell that salesman, the Marine guy, to be like, leave and don't come back? So we know he can talk.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he talks to him through their head or if he actually speaks.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he speaks to him through their head, though, because
Yeah,
that's
maybe
why he's trying to get attached to them
telepathically.
in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like he doesn't want to hurt them, but he's too curious, maybe. He's a very interesting creature. I haven't really like heard of one very similar. Usually they're all very evil type, but he seems like he doesn't know what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
He just likes to watch people. Maybe he wants to be human, and that's why they're saying that his form is so abnormal.
Maybe he can like
And
shape shift, and that's the closest
yeah,
he can
maybe
get to
he's
human form.
yeah. I'm thinking that he
Started
really
with a
really
dog
wants
and
to be
then turned
human.
into a human, and then a naked mall rat.
It's and then a naked baboon. But I think he really wants to be human, and that's why he watches people, and that's why he tries to connect with their heads too.
Yeah, that makes a
To
lot
try
of
to
sense.
think like they think, and then he watches them to see their behaviors because he wants to become them, and that's why he's so fascinated with them.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody that will kind of like not act terrible towards him at first, he's willing just to sit and be a part of. I wonder if he ended up just scaring the little girl and that's what made him go rogue. Because it doesn't seem like he has intentions to hurt you at first.
Yeah.
Because even the guy that wrote the unalive
like
note, he just said he just keeps visiting him.
Yeah, he just visits. He just stays in your room watching you sleep.
Just how do we know he isn't just Edward?
Yeah.
Naked Edward. It could be. So, yeah, he just likes watching people sleep.
Sits in the corner just trying to fight the urge to kill you.
But yeah, the Rake is pretty interesting. Anyways, what are your thoughts on it?
I don't know. I think you brought up a bunch of interesting points of stuff I didn't think about. And then, like, I was thinking doppelganger, but that's more...
Maybe he is trying to do that. Maybe he's trying to take the form. Maybe that's why he's just so abnormally human, that he's trying to capture into some type of form. But he seems like he has some type of guilt, because he told the Marine to, like, go away. He's like, get away from here and don't come back. Because maybe he was afraid he was going to try to take their lives or, like, become them. He's a very interesting creature. And apparently he's British because he was first in... Well, actually, it doesn't say where the Mariner was to capture them. So wherever the English ship was is where, I guess, the Rake came from. You know,
like kind of
because he was on their boat.
Nosferatu, they brought him like overseas on a ship.
I'm wondering if that's what happened with the Rake. He's probably just some kind of ancient thing.
Then he came from there, but then the second journal entry, they were Spanish, and it was in the 1800s. So it's like it seemed like he was kind of all over. Maybe they stopped in.
Yeah. Maybe they were over in Spain.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Because he could have gone back with the Englishmen, but he also said, don't come back. So wherever he saw them, they told him to leave, and he might have went back to where he was. Man, we also need to read stories about the Chupacabra.
Yes,
and Cthulhu. A funny thing, too. But, yeah, I like the Rake. The story kind of has some holes in it, like where they were saying... he's mostly in the New York area. Like, why is he, like... They didn't tell us why he was in the New York area. They also said they had a bunch of more stories.
Because isn't New York on an island?
Yeah.
Maybe the ship brought him there.
You're right.
You know what I started thinking? Because they said it was like... his voice is unintelligible. Like, what? So, you know, he visited someone that's Spanish speaking, and he visited someone in England. Maybe he's trying to jumble up all the different voices and accents and languages.
All the different...
So it's unintelligible because he's trying to talk. He's trying to talk like people he's encountered. I don't know.
Yeah, he's trying to communicate with people, but he doesn't know how to speak all the different... Like, he knows all the different languages, but I guess they're all just getting mixed up. He really does seem like some type of creature that's trying to become human. And that's why he watches people. That's why he listens to people.
Is that what
they're
called? Skinwalker,
yeah. He's a skinwalker. But skinwalkers usually are wanting to take over someone's body, like become them. I think he wants to become human. You know.
Yeah.
He's more innocent about it, and that's why I think he doesn't try to give off. But he knows people are scared of him. So whatever he is, he knows that people won't like him because of his appearance.
Well, he just hunches over, sitting on the edge of their bed, and he pats their leg and runs away.
And also, if he gets most of their words through their, like, maybe through them sleep talking and stuff, it might not sound as clear.
Yeah,
but also, I had the thought right before you said that,
when people wake up, like people waking and screaming and everything else, and like he's picking up all these different what he knows of language. So it's coming out super creepy. You ought to find some super creepy, like, voice that doesn't make
I love
sense.
that. I love that idea and thought that you came up with. Also why I like this one is because we can sit and discuss all these different things, because it leaves it kind of open a lot more to be like, what do you think it is? Because nobody really knows what it is. I like those where it's not too vague, but it's just vague enough where you can think maybe it does this because of that and stuff like that, so you can have more discussion on him. But also, before you said that, which makes much more sense than I said, because I thought that's what you're gonna say. I was like, maybe he's an alien.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he's trying to become human.
Maybe. Yeah.
But I would like it better if he was a creature, because aliens are not scary to me at all. When something turns out to be an alien, I'm like, boo.
No, it always ruins it for me. It just makes me think
Yeah.
of, was it the fourth Indiana Jones when you find out at the end they're aliens? I'm like, oh my gosh. No hating if you like aliens, but I'm
Yes.
just, nah, it's not my vibe.
Or
I'm not
like when
scared
the
of them.
creature thing. They're the most unscary thing, I think. Whenever something has aliens in it, I'm just like, no. But or like the, what is it? The quiet. What is that? What is that movie called?
Oh,
Where they
Quiet
have to be
Place?
quiet. A Quiet Place. Yeah, that was a really cool movie to me too. And then I found out they were aliens, and I was like, it's
Because
still, I like the
Cloverfield's the
movie.
same way.
Yeah, I liked that movie. The one where they're hiding in that place. The with that guy.
Mm. I like those movies. It's like, I would be happier if they just didn't show what the things looked like.
Yeah. Yes,
Just
that would have
leave
been
it
much better.
more mysterious. Like, it's
Yeah,
kind of
it's
like
much
when
more
we
scary
saw,
that way.
what's it called?
Smile.
Smile 2, and then they showed his like look
Yes.
in my eyes,
It
and
was
it ruined
so
the
bad.
whole thing. I'm like, don't show
Yes.
it. I don't want to know what
If
he
you
looks
don't have
like.
the budget to make something so like realistic, that thing was so awful. Like, you spent so much money and time on this movie, and then you gave us whatever that blob was. Thank you. It was. We have a listener story from our Spotify that I'll read. Someone said, "Love the episode. Thank you. I have seen shadow people my whole life. I would actually see a hair, I don't know what he's saying right there, HAR man. I think he might have been just saying a man. I actually seen a man outside my bedroom window when I was a kid. That would scare me more so because I didn't know what it was. I saw shadow people when I came home once at 3 a.m. I swear I was startled. It startled me and I ran away and I felt the wind rush by me. Very scary experience.
Like, bet,
I
bro,
felt
and then they ran past you.
I felt the wind run past me one time. One of my experiences when I was doing the dishes, and I felt the wind rush past me when I was backwards
Someone
turned,
was
and I thought it was one. Yeah, I thought it was just one of our siblings running back, back and forth, because that's what we used to do from one end of the hall to the other. So I thought it was that, and I went went in our parents' room, looked all around that area, didn't see anybody, and then the younger siblings are asleep, so I was like, don't know what that was. Maybe a shadow person. But thank you so much for your story submissions. Super spooky. I hope you don't see them anymore. You said you've seen them your whole life. I hope you stop seeing them. And yeah, thank you so much for your story, though. And if anybody else would like to send in stories, you can do it in our comments, or you can do it at theforgivehims@gmail.com. And with that being said,
on our Facebook, on our Instagram, on our YouTube, you can just submit it in the comments, or I think we mentioned previously, you can send us voice recordings of you telling your story. We can play it on the podcast if you prefer.
Yes, I would love that. I would love to hear people telling their own stories. Anyways, with that being said,
lock your doors and check your windows.
And pull your covers up tight over your head, because the rake might be sitting at the bottom of your bed.